What goes on, guys? We're back here again with yet another review, and today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Neca Toys Gargoyles Lexington and Xanatos. Oh man, it is so nice to be this deep in this line to where the main cast is done, and now we're getting all these weird off-the-wall characters, and I'm totally here for it. So here is the back of Lex's box. It looks great. The read-up, you can read it there. It's the same for all the gargoyles. I kind of wish that they did like a little individual read-ups, but then again, this is the trash around my figures, so I don't give it too much of a damn. There's a barcode for each one of them if you're looking for them, and then nothing really on the top. But yeah, we get the little flap on the inside. Pretty basic picture for Xanatos, and then pretty awesome picture for Lex. So yeah, without further ado, I'm so excited to finally get Lexington. Let's go ahead and pop these bad boys open. So getting these guys out of the packaging, I gotta say, they're both pretty awesome. They're not my favorite figures from the line, but they're pretty sweet. I mean, Neca would have to try hard to get me to say something really bad about these figures. I mean, my least favorite one so far was Elisa, and it's not because she was a bad figure. It's just, she's kind of basic. I do think that I like Xanatos less, and I'll talk about why that is, but Lex is pretty awesome, all things considered. So we'll go ahead and start with Xanatos and get him out of the way, because there's a little bit more to talk about with him. I don't know, really, but I'm not a big fan of this head sculpt. I said this on my Armored Xanatos review. Go check that out if you haven't. The jawline is just huge. Like, if I cover up his face like that, that looks so much more like Xanatos. But then you get these big-ass jowls, and I don't know why they did that. It looks like Xanatos. That does not look like Xanatos. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. But you got his ponytail. You got it, the band painted. The paint on the face is nice, and then it's just a regular suited body. He is pinless, which is pretty cool, but, you know, he's kind of jacked under there. You can kind of see his belly underneath. I don't really like that. Wish they did that black. And he's got this kind of weird finish on his pants. I like it. I think it's kind of cool. I don't know if it picks up well on camera. It's kind of like glossy in certain spots and then matte in others. But overall, I mean, there's not a lot to talk about with this guy. It's just a dude in a suit. But it's a good-looking dude in a suit, so I'm okay with that. I do like the belt on him as well. It is painted very nicely. But yeah, there's not much to talk about, but what is there is done well. I just really wish that that's what his head sculpt looked like. Man, that drives me nuts. But he does come with a good amount of accessories. So starting off with this, he does come with the closed wings for Demona. Unfortunately, I do not have Demona accessible for me right here, right now. But they just plug in there, and I think they'll look okay. I like the blue on the inside, and then I like the metallic black on the outside. But I don't know. I like my gargoyles with their wings open, personally. He does come with a couple extra hands. So he comes with fist hands on the package, and you get like a support hand and a trigger finger hand for the gun. And then you get the item holding hand here and a splayed out hand for the other side. I likes that. You do get this effect part for the gun. Looks good. And here's the gun itself. So you plug that in there. The gun looks great. I like that a lot. And like I said, the effect part does go in there very nicely. Here is the cartridge. I forget what this was for. It has some footage of the gargoyles on there, I think. But it's painted nicely. Now this, I cannot remember for the life of me what this is. If you can remember what this is, let me know. It's like right on the tip of my tongue. Like I can picture it being in the show, but I don't remember what it does, but it looks good. There you go. It's got like the loose chain pieces. And it comes with an alternate head of like a snarling, angry face. First of all, I don't know why they did it with the neck, but again, it's got that same problem of the big jawline for some reason. I don't really like that. This does not look good to me. Not a big fan of this. So, good spread of accessories. I don't love everything, but they're there. As far as articulation is concerned, he's going to be able to look up that far. He'll look down, pivot side to side, and rotate. Great head. Pause. Great head movement. How's that? Shoulders are only going to go up to about there. They'll go down. He'll rotate them 360. double jointed rotating elbows that look, and well, they look okay, but they work pretty good. And then the wrist swivel and hinge. The gun wielding hand does not have a vertical hinge. I messed up on one of my other videos with that. You're basically just getting a waist twist here. That's about it, which is really surprising. I don't know why they just didn't do a ball joint into the hips. Hips, speaking of, will go out that far. They'll go down. Heel kick forward, heel kick back, upper thigh cut. Single jointed knee. That does look better than some knees they've done in the past, and it will rotate. And then the ankle will also rotate. It'll go down, it'll go up, it'll pivot, and it has a toe joint. So, yeah, it works pretty good for what it's supposed to be, other than the fact that there's like no articulation in the torso. It's basically just a swivel. Not a huge fan of that, but it's also Xanatos, so I don't really care that much. Now, I think the one that more people are going to want to get is Lex. And for the most part, he's pretty damn impressive. His design, I knew was going to be super difficult for Neca to do, but I think what they did with it is pretty damn smart, and I think for the most part works. So let's take a look at Lex's head sculpt. It is beautiful. The wash on there, or like, it's more like a overspray. I don't know. The shading is great. I love the eyes, the expression. It is spot on Lexington. I mean, the whole body is, to be honest with you. Obviously, he's the smallest of the gargoyles, but I love his lanky arms. The paint shading all around it is beautiful. The loin piece with the dry brush on top of it is amazing. The belt and the belt buckle look good. He's got his little tail. All the musculature is great. And then, of course, the big point of contingency is how were they going to do his wings? So what they did was they molded it into the forearms, and then they're regular pegged in like the rest of the gargoyles, and you kind of just got to pose them to be open. And I think that that's pretty smart. Like that, if you hinge them down all the way in the back, they do pop out a little bit, but that looks pretty good for the most part. Again, it's the more you rotate the shoulder up, the more open they'll be. This side gives me problems. This side does not like to stay in the back. But if you can get them in there, that looks pretty good. I like that. The paint in there is amazing. Looks very well done. And then obviously his legs, it's attached to his legs as well. So then you can kind of just get them like whoosh. Right? I like it. The shoulders are really stiff, which I don't like that because it makes me really anxious that something's going to tear. So maybe heat them up. I think I'm going to try to heat up my shoulders. But yeah, I mean, when they're down, it's not perfect, but in the show, they just kind of go away. So I don't really know what y'all expect. His toes are painted too. As far as accessories for Lex, he comes with a bevy of different stuff. Of course, he comes with the awesome whited out head sculpt. I love the expression. Freaking amazing. Accessory gold right there. He comes with a couple extra hands. I probably should have done them first. Comes with a pair of fisted hands. I like it. Then he comes with the trigger finger hand for something else, and then like a supporting hand. That is for the crossbow. Oops, I got another accessory call on there. That is for this big old crossbow with real chains. Super awesome. Very cool. Don't really remember him using a crossbow too much, but hey man, it's here. And you can load the crossbow. You put this in there, slide that through, and boom. That is pretty awesome. It looks amazing. You do get 3 arrows as well. That looks pretty cool. Again, I just don't really remember him using a crossbow all that much, but it's here and it looks great. Now this I do remember. You get his remote control that he uses. I love the long antenna. Love that. And he comes with this headset, which does go on his head pretty perfectly. Like, that is awesome. I like that a lot. So definitely my favorite accessories are the remote control and the headset. I think that they're definitely suiting for the tech guy of the group. As far as articulation goes for Lex, they cut out this little groove in the back of the neck so he can look up all the way. It doesn't look horrible, and it actually works. Marvel Legends Retro Spider-Man, I'm looking at you. Pivot side to side is great, and he'll rotate. Like I said, shoulders are tight, so definitely move the articulation at the shoulder. Don't pull over here. You'll break something. You do get a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. That the range is going to vary by how far you want to do that. Just be mindful of his wings. They are a little weird, and mine on this side just will not stay in. It's not the end of the world, but it's a little annoying. Bicep swivel, like we said, double jointed elbows, and then wrist swivel and hinge. The diaphragm joint really isn't going to do much on him. Kind of just pops out at the waist. A little bit easier than I'd like. It'll rotate there, and it'll also rotate at the waist itself. Hips go out that far, they go down. He'll kick forward about that much. That's actually pretty good, especially for him, because like he's very crouchy. Oh, I don't want that to rip out. Oh, it's not. Like he's very like kind of like gremlin-y. He's a little gremlin for sure, but I like that. Like that looks pretty awesome. Ooh, it's so cool. His tail will hinge and a very good bendy wire. So yeah, the stifle hinges back and forth and will rotate. The hock kind of just hinges, not really going to pivot, and then the or the more like the pastern, I guess, would be the better joint. It does pivot. I like that, and it hinges. So you can get him into those weird little gremlin-y, goblin-esque poses, because that's kind of how I picture Lex, is like being a little menace. But yeah, I think it looks pretty damn cool, and it works for the most part. I just wish that didn't pop out as easy as it did. They are 7-inch scale line. Here they are next to the Neca Kong and the 6-inch Jazzwares Fortnite Series Peely. Here they are next to the McFarlane Toys 7-inch scale Batman from The Dark Knight Returns. And then here is the X-Men series Marvel Legends Darwin. And then finally, of course, here they are with the Hasbro What If series Marvel Legends Zombie Captain America. So some of you are out there definitely wondering, pondering, thinking, oh, Ant, what are your final thoughts on these figures? And I gotta say, they're both pretty damn awesome. They're not my favorite because Lex is a little difficult to play with, just because this side does not want to stay in, and I don't know how to fix that because I obviously can't glue it. I need it to rotate, but it's a little frustrating. But once you like fiddle around with it and get Lex in a good pose, it works pretty damn well. As far as Xanatos goes, he's just a dude in a suit. It's what he's supposed to be. It's good enough for what it's supposed to be. So it doesn't bother me at all. But yeah, I overall just really love these figures. I'm so happy to have the main cast from Gargoyles, so now we can get all these weird characters. I love that they're doing Macbeth. Cold Stone looks fantastic, so I'm here for it. Give me everyone. But anyway, with all that being said, at a price point of $35 to $40 a pop, I'm going to give Xanatos a 7 because I really don't like that head sculpt, and there's nothing crazy about him. You're more just getting him for the character rather than the, the fun of the figure. As far as Lex is concerned, I'm going to give him an 8 because this was hard. I assume that this was a really hard figure to make, but NECA pulled it together and really gave us a really solid product. I mean, look at that pose right there. That is freaking badass, dude. Badass. So, yeah, and I wanted to review these guys together because Lex and Xanatos have an interesting relationship in the sense of, Xanatos trusts Lex with his kid a lot, and, Lex really loves the kid, and it's just I don't know. I thought it was interesting. But anyway, that's all I got for today. So if you've not already, please just sure to like, comment, subscribe. Also be sure to follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Letterboxd. I post a lot of on those platforms, and I have a lot of good time, so I'm sure you all will too. But as always, let me know. You copping? See you guys next one. Peace. What goes on, guys? I wanted to hop on here again and thank you all for watching, and to let you know that if the following apps interest you, feel free to follow me on them as I put the links in the description for you guys. I really appreciate everything you all do for me, so DM me with any questions or thoughts. I'd love to sit and talk with you all. Again, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.